My boyfriend Tyler and I had been talking about hiking the Ouachita Trail since the spring. We finally had a long weekend in early October. 4 days, 3 nights. Remote, forested. The kind of place where the only sound you hear for hours is your own breathing and the wind moving through the pines. By evening, we'd covered 7 miles and found a flat site near a creek. We set up the tent, ate freeze-dried pasta, and watched the fire until it was nothing but coals. I was asleep by 9:30. I woke up at 1:14 a.m. I know the exact time because I checked my watch. The tent was dark. Tyler was breathing slowly beside me, and someone was standing outside. I don't know how I knew. No sound, no shadow on the fabric, just a certainty. Then I heard it. Breathing. Not Tyler. Deeper, slower, coming from maybe 6 feet away, just beyond the tent wall. Patient breathing. Not labored, not panicked. The breathing of someone who was simply standing there and waiting. I put my hand on Tyler's arm. He stirred. I pressed down, firm, meaning stay still. The breathing outside didn't move, didn't circle, didn't approach, just stayed there, one position, facing us. I reached for my bear spray in the dark, found the loop on the outside of my sleeping bag where I'd clipped it before bed. I unclipped it as slowly as I could. Then the breathing stopped, not faded, stopped, like a switch being flipped. We lay there for 40 minutes without moving. Tyler had his knife unsheathed. I had the bear spray uncapped in my hand. The forest outside was completely silent. No wind, no creek sounds, no animal noise of any kind. At 2 a.m., something brushed the back of the tent. A single slow drag from the bottom left corner up toward the peak, like a hand trailing across the fabric to feel the tension of it, to test how thin it was. Then nothing. We did not sleep again. At dawn, I unzipped the tent and stepped out. The campsite looked undisturbed, fire ring cold and gray. Our pack still hung from the bare line. But in the soft mud at the edge of the creek bank, 3 feet from the back of our tent, there were footprints. Boots. Large, deep tread. Standing in one place, facing the tent. No approaching steps. No leaving steps. We packed in 12 minutes. We didn't filter water, didn't eat, didn't discuss it. We just started walking south at full pace. Around mile 4, Tyler grabbed my arm. On a tree to the right of the trail, carved at eye level. Recent. The wood still white and wet underneath. 2 words. Keep walking. We ran. 40-pound packs, uneven terrain, roots and rocks. But I couldn't shake the feeling every time I turned around. Whatever it was had just stepped behind a tree. We reached the southern trailhead at noon. Drove directly to the nearest ranger station in Pencil Bluff. The ranger on duty listened, wrote things down. When I described the footprints and the carving, he stopped writing and looked up. "What section of trail?" he asked. I told him. He nodded slowly. "You're not the first this season," he said. I asked what that meant. He said, "It means you did the right thing by leaving." When I got home, I searched the Ouachita Trail forums. One post from 2020 described a pair of boots found sitting upright in the middle of the trail, laces tied facing south. We don't backcountry camp anymore. We do car camping now, at state sites with numbered pads and neighbors who nod at you in the morning. Because somewhere on that trail in western Arkansas, something knew exactly where we were sleeping. And whatever it wanted from us, I'm glad we were already gone by the time it decided. The listing said, off-grid cabin, sleep 6, surrounded by national forest. The photos showed exposed log walls, a stone fireplace, a screened porch with rocking chairs and a mountain view. There were 5 of us, me, my husband Dan, and 3 friends we've known since college, Reese, Carla, and Marcus. We got there on a Saturday evening. The cabin was everything the photos promised. A lockbox on the door. No host. Just a welcome letter on the kitchen table with the Wi-Fi password and checkout instructions. We dropped our bags, opened wine, started dinner. Everything was exactly right. Then Marcus found the cellar door. It was in the hallway of the kitchen, flush with the floor. An iron ring handle and a padlock through the latch. A heavy one. Black oxide, no scratches. Owner storage, Dan said. Tools, winter gear. Every cabin has one. The wood around the lock plate. Deep scratches in the grain. A cluster of them, concentrated at the edge where the latch met the frame. Like someone had been digging at the gap from below with something narrow, something desperate. I didn't say anything. I told myself old cabins settle. At 12:40 a.m., we were into our second card game when it started. A knock from below the floor. Single, heavy. Not a settling sound, not a pipe knock. The deliberate knock of a knuckle on wood. What was that? Carla said. Then it came again. 2 knocks this time. Slow, even. From directly beneath the kitchen table, Marcus put his cards down. We stood in the hallway staring at the cellar door. Reese put her ear close to it without touching it. Her face changed. There's someone down there, she said. Dan called the host number from the welcome letter. 4 rings. Voicemail. The knocking came
1.
again. 3 times now. Rhythmic.
2.
Coming at the same slow interval, like someone counting.
3.
Marcus went outside with a flashlight. He walked the perimeter of the cabin, looking for a window, a vent, a crawl space entrance. He came back in 3 minutes. Cellar window on the north side, he said, behind the propane tank. It's been covered from the outside with plywood. Recent. The screws are shiny. Not boarded shut from neglect. Covered deliberately. Recently. We called 911. The dispatcher stayed on the line while we waited outside in the cars, with the doors locked and the engines running. Carla was shaking. I kept watching the cabin windows from the driveway, waiting for a light to appear or a shadow to move. 2 sheriff's deputies arrived in 22 minutes. They went in without us. We sat in the cars with the hazard lights on and watched the cabin windows. They were down there for a long time. When the first deputy came back outside, his expression was controlled and flat, the way people look when they're trying not to show what they've just seen. He told us we needed to find alternate lodging for the night and that someone would contact us with further information. He did not tell us what they found. He did not tell us it was nothing. We drove to Bryson City and checked into the first motel we found. Nobody talked much. Reese cried once in the parking lot and then stopped. We sat in a room with 2 queen beds and the TV on mute, and nobody slept. In the morning, Dan called the county sheriff's office. They confirmed an incident had occurred at the property and that an investigation was ongoing. Within 6 hours, the listing had been taken down. Not paused, not flagged. Gone. One couple described waking to what they thought was an animal under the floorboards, scratching, rhythmic, for almost an hour before it stopped. None of them had opened the cellar door. None of them had called anyone. We were the first guests to call 911. Whatever was in that cellar, whatever those deputies found when they pried open that lock, none of it made it into any article I could find. The cabin is probably still there, somewhere on a gravel road in the Nantahala Forest, sitting at the edge of the trees, rocking chairs on the porch, stone fireplace, mountain view, maybe with a new listing, maybe with new photos, maybe with a new padlock. That was 8 months ago. I still can't sleep in a room where there's a door I haven't opened. It's the thing you do when you finally understand that some locks aren't there to keep things out. I've been a solo camper for most of my adult life. Last November, I booked 3 nights at Sardis Lake Campground in central Mississippi. Site 20, directly across from me, had a tent. Wednesday evening, I came back to find a chair. It was angled specifically towards Site 22, toward me. I walked to the edge of the road between our sites. Hello? Nothing. Site 20 isn't booked this week, he said. He unzipped the tent. Empty. No sleeping bag, no food, no clothing, just the bare tent floor. And in the center of it, a disposable camera. His expression had gone from curious to something more careful. Far as I know, it was here when I opened the loop Monday morning. Long enough to position a chair facing whatever site they expected me to take. I should have left. I know that now. That night, my last night, I couldn't sleep. Around midnight, I heard footsteps on gravel. Slow, deliberate, moving along the loop road. I lay still. They stopped outside my tent. I had my knife in my hand, and I did not move until I heard birds. Every single one was a photo of Site 22. My site, my tent, my fire ring, shot after shot. The last 6 photos were taken after my car was parked in the site. After I had arrived, close enough to see the outline of my chair inside the firelight. Whoever this is, he said, they know the park. They know the booking system. They know which sites fill last. I check for who was already there before I arrived.